Okay, today is May 8th, 2025, and this is the Content Managers Monthly Meeting. I am Matt Perry, filling in as the interim e-delivery services product manager for Don Conant till that replacement is found. With me today is the DX project team to help facilitate this meeting. Next slide. Back skip to. All right, we want to start off with saying congratulations to IPERS and DOT. They had their website launches very recently, and with Lullabot had some numbers of that DOT was the largest and most complex site that's made it to the DX platform. They've had 72% reduction in total page count and 85% reduction in documents. And they had major improvements to content organization and design. So congratulations to those two agencies and appreciate the work that they put into it. Next slide, please. Also on the marketing platform, DPS has launched Stop HT, which is Stop Human Trafficking. It's available. We do have translation on that site in 4 languages of English, Spanish, French, and Bosnian. And so want to congratulate them on their efforts and working with us to get that one to go as well. It's been successful. So thank you. Next slide. So with what's next for DX, it's the content gardening, and I'm going to hand that off to Jessica.
Awesome. Yeah, and I just want to echo what Matt said. Congratulations to IPERS, DOT, and Stop HT, but I also would like to add congratulations. That was our official last DX website was DOT. So we can actually say we completed the DX First Amendment style on that. So congratulations to all your work. It's been a long journey, a lot of work from all of you. So again, kudos to all of you on that. So but that's the next slide is what's next for DX. We're not quite done yet. So what we have going on here is what we have on the content gardening project and governance project. And I'm just going to kind of briefly go over what this is going to entail. We had some additional funds left over from DX and we wanted to use it to the way that you guys seem to want to use it. You may recall from the capstone, Aaron did a really good presentation about content gardening and everybody was just really enthused about that. And so we heard your feedback and we want to provide that opportunity to all of you as well. So also what this means in this particular project that we're going to talk more about is it does provide you more time with Lullabot, with both Aaron and Francis and also Laura. You will get more time with the content strategist to assist you. So what is this project about? The overall goal is to help clean up documents, also enhance the website's content accessibility, readability, and search traffic. So that's one portion of that. You also may recall, if you remember from Erin's presentation back in November, she had this cute little phrase called Pillow Talk. It was an option to provide a governance within your agency. So here's my example, not a very good example, but this is how I would describe it. So let's say Mickey Mouse comes to you and says, I want to add this flyer about a potluck coming up. And you're going to ask some important questions regarding that particular flyer. And does it really belong on the website? Well, we want to provide you that tool and tool set to ask those questions and have some internal governance within your own agency and provide some guidance and some guardrails to not add maybe unnecessary content, but also just to improve in the process and have some understanding that people want to request items on the website. And so you will have some tools in your tool belt. That's one of the portions of the DX project within this content gardening, is to provide you some governance internally as well. So that's a big portion of this content gardening project. But the other portion is we know that Todd Peterson has been working with many of you regarding the accessibility project to remediate PDFs and etc. As we go through each agency again, you will also get time with Todd. He's going to kind of just remind you of some housekeeping items, things that you need to address, some leftover items that you might work, but maybe more of a hands-on support as we go through the next cohort schedule to just kind of help and guide you and be there in this process as well. The third initiative, the cohort, the content gardening project, is some of you may or may not know, but the state has purchased a Qualtrics enterprise solution. And with that, Qualtrics solution does provide digital feedback and DXA intercepts. And what that really does is we want to help receive good feedback. Is our website helping our constituents in the state of Iowa? And so we will be implementing web intercepts like we have on iowa.gov and don.iowa.gov, which we'll talk about in a minute. But we will be helping you with that initiative, and that is my new role, is the Qualtrics program manager. So you get more time with me as well. Happy you, right? So that this team will help with that as well. We have already working on the first pilot phase. We were going to take some lessons learned on the first phase, and then we will have more information on who's next and so on. So we have agencies, IUC, Volunteer, and DAS have received a communication. And so that is our first hope to try out with those 3 agencies starting in this month. You're going to go to the next slide, Shereen. I know it's a lot of information. So again, I just want to kind of emphasize I already did this, but I kind of went out of order, but that's the why. I guess the point that I want to point out, it is because we heard your feedback. We did ask for the capstone, and that's what you guys liked. And Aaron's presentation regarding the gardening and the governance was something that you guys really seemed like, I want more of that. I also want to add, I don't have it here in the slide, but it also is to provide you more time that you didn't get the original cohort schedule, right? A lot of you had to move fast, and that was the only pace that you had to get those sites moved and migrated. This is a chance for us to kind of reset, look at what we put in our website, remove content that we just didn't have time to audit, and clean up those websites and go from there. I think we can go to the next slide there, Shereen. Thanks. So here's the deal. I did put the link to the slide inside the chat. As I said, we did request IUC, DAS, and Volunteer. I believe 2 of the 3 are really interested, but we still want to hear back from all of them. And then if they doesn't seem to work with their current schedule, we will adjust the pilot of who those agencies are. Also, in conversation with Lullabot, we want to hear who's really interested in this and get in the early partner list. This is a flexible deliverable. What it means is the purpose of this second round of cohort schedule is to really get what you guys need, right? Some of it will be kind of mandated, but most of it is really what Laura and Aaron and Francis all 3 of them want to do, is really help you on what your needs are. As we know, each one of you are unique websites for particular reasons, for whatever your audience is, and they really want to help where you need help with. And the way that we can do that is to take some feedback. So there is a survey. If you are really hungry and thirsty to try out this and be on the early partner list, there is an action item for you. We ask that you fill out that survey and let us know. And then we, as the strategy team, will determine next steps, and we will figure out a remaining cohort schedule. So that is what we're looking for, is we're looking for people that are really interested and maybe have the bandwidth to do so in the next couple of months to be on the early partner list. And we will determine a plan of action the best we can. So I'm going to pause there and see if there's any questions regarding the content gardening, as I know I rambled really fast because I only go 1 speed sometimes. But is there any questions regarding that? I'll go ahead and unmute or raise your hand.
How do we get to the survey?
It's in the slide deck. I'll put the slide deck again, and I'll pin the slide deck. Should be in the chat. I just pinned it, so it should show up for all.
I don't have anything in my chat.
Oh, let me.
Well, there it is. Got it.
Thank you. Thank you, Tracy. Okay, if you want to go to the next slide. The other thing is, again, putting my Qualtrics program manager hat on here. We are piloting lots of things within Qualtrics right now. One of the things with Qualtrics, as I've said, is it does allow feedback options surveys to collect how are we doing. I call it the feedback intercept, the feedback tab intercept. We have gone live officially on iowa.gov, dom.iowa.gov, and then obviously our sandbox. So if you want to check it out, you could do so. Go by going to those websites. You will see a little tab just like it shows on the screen. And that is what we are currently excited that we launched that this week on Tuesday. So if we go to the next slide. Again, Qualtrics has a lot of survey solutions, and it's so much more than SurveyMonkey on steroids. It's so robust of a system. But one of the things that we kind of just want to give you overall high level what we're doing with the pilot regarding intercepts and DXA, so we guys have some visibility and transparency. Was phase one was that we would put the feedback tab on our own websites that we manage under Dom Do It, which is dom.iowa.gov and iowa.gov, as we do help with iowa.gov. We don't manage all that by ourselves, but we always say we eat our own dog food, and that is one way to do so. We can take lessons learned and then hopefully move on to some of you. Phase two of the project is where we're going to implement the feedback tab to those agencies that are in the content gardening. So if we focus on the pilot phase, that would be IUC, staff, and volunteer. And the purpose of that is we're trying to improve our content, right? One way to do that is to receive feedback from our constituents. And so we want to get some way, easy way for constituents to provide feedback on your website. So phase two is to implement the feedback tab on those websites as well. So then you could take that data, present it to Lullaby, and look at those feedback that you get from the constituents and make improvements. So there is a reason. I always believe it's important to know the why. The other part of phase two is if you want to see some samples, we do have them on the DX sandbox, is what we call an exit pop-up. This is where we would put it on implement on some top pages and maybe mostly on the high bounce rate pages. What you do is you take your bounce all the way to the top of your screen, and you're kind of like leading the screen in a fast manner. The pop-up will appear and say, did you find what you're looking for? And it will pop up the same feedback tab questions. And then you can kind of see, I left the page because I was irritated and I couldn't find what I wanted, right? Or thank you so much. Like, it's a passive way for them to submit a constituent response. The other thing is on maybe our top pages where it's got a lot of content and there's a lot of how-tos. We will also, again, you can check on the sample links that are there on the DX sandbox, but thumbs up, thank you, this is very helpful. Thumbs down, this is, I don't understand. They can fill out some ways. So there's different ways to intercept, and we'll figure out all the logistics of when we should do this and when we won't. There's a whole program governance concept of this as well. But the only way we can kind of sometimes figure out the program governance or the best practices is to actually pilot and test it. And so then obviously the goal of these phase two things is to look at the feedback and also take it to how are we going to review it, which comes to phase three and phase four. The other part of what Qualtrics offers, like they offer quite a bit here, is heat mapping and user replay and funnel analysis and engagement tracking, which we call DXA options. Some of you might be familiar with tools like Hotjar and Crazy Egg. I think there's other ones I'm not as familiar with, but we know that what those kind of tools have. Qualtrics has the same stuff. So heat mapping and stuff can tell you that maybe someone's really stuck at this one spot, or they can find dead clicks or broken links and et cetera. So again, more ways to analyze the website to make improvements, which the ultimate goal is to make it a better experience for our state of Iowa constituents. So that's kind of phase three. And then phase four is obviously we need a good way to look at this data. And the best way is we got to get the data collected and then find the best way to display the data. I will tell you, this is not a Jessica initiative. This is a state of Iowa governor's initiative. Dr. Paulson has asked to have an executive level, like high level, and then you guys will have your own dashboards to be able to view this in a very user-friendly way, and that is our ultimate goal. And as you can tell, it's going to take some time to get there, but I kind of wanted to just kind of give you an overview of, like, there is a plan to some degree, and wanted to give you the why on what we're working on with all this. So I think I'll pause there and see if there's any questions regarding all that I just told all of you. Any questions? Lori.
Yeah, so I guess I just wanted to make sure the Qualtrics initiative, it's beyond the 4 phases outlined, it's beyond the website, or is it just talking about website surveys?
So two-folded. Laura, you're kind of in our pilot on the other side of things.
Okay.
So so just that, thank you for that question, because it overlaps, right? So a lot of people think, I'm just being honest, there's Qualtrics where people think it is a replacement for Microsoft Forms and Google Forms and Seamless and other basic SurveyMonkey, right? It can do that. It is a really robust time. And maybe you guys recall we used Qualtrics back in the day during COVID when we had the drive-through, and we also had the when we could mail the COVID test to you. That was Qualtrics, if you didn't know that. That tools and stuff were Qualtrics. So you can kind of see it can be really a robust system. But it can do many, many things. It could replace our contact us forms down the road. It could do a lot of things, right? So the thing that we're piloting with certain agencies and divisions is just a small section to pilot the self-service model, to create your own surveys, to create your own forms. That is a different initiative that I'm working on. But yes, so Lori, you are involved in that. But in the same breath, we also have another lane called DX, right? And this lane is a lot of web intercepts, analytics, DXA. That's kind of, we're taking a separate pilot channel for those types of things, because it is two different audiences to some degree, but a lot of you, like you, Lori, like Cherise, many of you cross over, right? You do a lot of what Dawn used to do a lot of forms with Seamless and all this, and then data DX stuff. Same thing. You guys are kind of the same audience, but we're trying to make two different lanes to make it very clear. DXA, forms, solutions, this side. So then you guys can cross. Does that help? I hope.
Yes, it did. Thank you.
Okay, good. Great question. Lots going on. Never bored. I gotta be honest, never bored. All right. Any other questions regarding what I just talked about, content gardening or the feedback or DXA? Oh no, but I'm very excited. This is some big stuff that we're gonna make our websites even more robust. So I'm gonna stop talking. I think then, oh, go ahead, Sammy. Sammy, if you're on mute, if you're talking.
Sorry, I lost control of my mic option. It just went gray. I'm here now. If you're opening up questions again about the content gardening section, I had a question about the early partner list. Just thinking about, this is a really good opportunity to get all of the ideas in my brain out in front of the developers, but I probably don't have bandwidth to join the work group. So
Okay.
is there a good format to submit some of those ideas to enhance DX functionality, or should I just continue to do that through ServiceNow tickets?
If it's actual development, we already do have a workflow. I think we should continue to do that. Like, it would need to go through ServiceNow, brings to the steering committee, then the steering committee votes on it and then determines if it should be developed. So that would be a slightly different process. This content gardening is more content strategy.
Yeah.
How do you improve? Yep. Two different aisles again. We like to make sure you know what funnel you're going into. Yep. Good question.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
There's kind of, there's overlap there. So I was like, well, maybe I need to be putting some of these things in front of the early partner list, but I'll just continue business as usual. And I'll know that if it needs to get brought into the early partner list group, it will.
Yep. And I just like to add to that, it doesn't mean though, like we've done throughout the entire 3 years of the DX, right? There's been many conversations, let's say, that Aaron and Laura and Francis have worked with you guys, and they're like, this is a really good enhancement, right? Those conversations have taken place for the last 3 years, right? And that could come in place within the content gardening conversations, right? And so if those come up, we would still want to follow the same procedure. And Aaron and Francis know that procedures, fill out a service now, it goes to the steering committee. But a lot of times on those conversations do also take place with the strategy team on Tuesday, saying, hey, this came up with Sammy and this is a really good idea and this would make actually content better. Those are the things that we would submit to the LSM if we get approved by the steering committee. So those things do cross over, right, in those examples.
Okay.
So good, yep.
Yeah, that helps. That really helps a lot to hear how that process would go. Thank you.
Right. Yep. Don, go ahead.
Yeah, I may have missed this. Is there a timeline for these phases to be complete, deadlines, those kind of things?
I did admit the timeline. I should have put it in there, but I was kind of hesitant because we're not quite sure, right? Everything's always a pilot. But for your particular request, Don, you are on the pilot phase request. Again, it's an opt-in opportunity, right? And I explained why we did select you guys first, and I don't want to go into that. But what I would say for the survey deadline to fill the survey out is due May 9th. The expectation for the agencies, Aaron, Laura, and Francis, and I, and Matt, believe that it would be like a 4 to 6 week cohort schedule. So that would be not every day you would meet with them, but that's the estimated time as you work through the cohort schedule. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, and the reason I asked is because I'm actually retiring at the end of June. So
hear that. Well, congratulations. That's awesome. So
yes.
we can get you started right now so you can have one more project. Is that what you're asking?
Well, I don't know. I mean, we have a lot on our plate right now. My colleague Melissa has definitely been involved in the website all along. So I don't want to dump everything on her, but you know, maybe it's something we can talk about offline. Absolutely.
And that is a rarity. And so we can definitely adjust that. We could talk offline on that, but thank you for the heads up. And most of all, congratulations. That's pretty exciting. And thank you for your service for the last several years. So thank you.
Well, thank you.
Anybody else got good news like Don? I don't have that great news. All righty. Anything else? Last chance. Okay, I'm going to pass it over to, I think next up is Suzanne, I believe.
Hi. We're going to talk about some new enhancements and updates that happened on the DX training site and for your websites. And this first one was, I guess, kind of a pet peeve for me, especially, was in the right-hand side menus. It had and you see on the left side picture there, the content and for example, in those 3 content types, media and work with micro content, they have the title of the drop down and then they have the little arrow to drop down. And it used to be no matter what you clicked on, it went to a new page. And that was really annoying because I expected when I clicked on the arrow for it to open another submenu or a child menu. Now it's been fixed so that you see on the right-hand side, I clicked on the content types and then it dropped down and opened up that basic page, book, context, events, etc. So I can see what's on that page before I actually click to it. I think that was a great enhancement. The next thing is that we've been working hard to clean up the DX training site and adding materials. Some of the things we added, there's a list there of some new instructions, some new videos. Some of the things were created, some of the training items were created before other enhancements were added. So for example, there was the toolbar that you see. There's some different items on the toolbar that are new and have happened along the way. So those training instructions and some of the videos have been updated, and we will work to continue to update those. The YouTube channel. We've been working hard to get all of our videos and training materials, excuse me, and the content manager meetings as well on YouTube. So you can subscribe to that channel, and then you will see the playlists and the various videos within those playlists. And I think Shireen is next.
Alrighty. Before I start, Todd, do you want to go before me or after me? Or do you want me to like be chill?
Either way. Either way.
Okay, I'll go before you. Alright, you guys. So I'm going to do some platform demonstration for you. So what do they say on the Magic School Bus? Strap on your seatbelts and let's go. So I don't know if you guys have had this issue before. I'm going to show you an example of this where I know me and Sammy have come across this where when you add copy text from whether it's a Word document or whether it is, I don't know, someplace else, and you end up like adding it to your page on a basic page or to a quote, and then you end up seeing like, why do I have 3 quotations here? And so we have updated in the basic page like link that's in this slide documentation that goes over this, but with the WYSIWYG bar that Susan had mentioned, there is now this button right here where it is the remove format button. And as you can see here, there's no quotation marks. You're not going crazy. It is hidden, and me and Sammy ended up figuring that out. So what we ended up doing, because like when we even did like the Control Shift paste, our computer's like, no, it's going to still be hidden there. So what you can do now is, hopefully this works, you could do the remove format button right there, and then I want to see if it's doing it. It should remove those hidden quotations. Hold on. It did. So yeah, so if you ever get like hidden quotations or there's like a hidden symbol and you're like, it's not in front of me, why are you right here? Use that remove format feature in your WYSIWYG bar, and there is documentation within this link right here, and I'm going to paste it in chat, that leads to information on how to do that within the WYSIWYG bar that is explained in the basic page right there. So I'm going to go to my next slide. Okay, now next one that I wanted to talk about was how to add locations to events. So I know this hiccup had happened before. When you create an event, so here's my event. This is just an example of my event. And I'm going to go to the edit section. Okay, there we go. And I'm going to scroll down, and you can see right here, like you might want to add like some people, there was like a confusion because they want to add like the address and blah, 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 blah. What you actually have to do first is you have to actually create that location content type so that the platform can find it and then put it there for you. And that way when the platform does that, so here's the location content type that I made, which of course, content, add location, and then you can see the location content type there. So I added this first, created on the platform. Now I took the title of this location and I did a search for it right here in the physical location spot. So then that way, let me just go backwards. The platform will add that location right here. We did have a enhancement request submission sent through ServiceNow that the steering committee is still voting on about this possibly having like a hyperlink or possibly having like a box for the map to be added in the events type. So currently that's not there yet. The steering committee is still voting on that, but a workaround that you can do for now is if you want to have a hyperlink lead out to the location type for your constituents, you can add the location down here and create a hyperlink, and that is within the event details area. So if you scroll down, in the location, in the event page, right here is where you can add the details of your event as well as a hyperlink that will lead to that location type, which has the map right there and the get directions and all of that good stuff right there. You can also, if you want to have it to where it shows up after the event has passed, just make sure to add that information in the recap section as well. But that is a workaround if you do want to have it to where people can click on it and it takes them to that. So that is also, if you want to have more information, I do have a link on how to work with location types right here, which will take you to the DX training site so that you can, if you didn't hear anything I just said, don't worry. We got it written there. And then I believe we're going to have some videos updated on that page to where it visually shows what I just did as well on how to work with locations. Any questions on that so far? I'll give you guys 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay, good. Let's go to our next one. So this one, we ended up coming across this during the content open office hours. I can't remember what it's called. The open office hours that are open today at 1 p.m. to 2 p.m., which I have available if you need help. But someone had joined it and they had a question. And so I was like, oh, this is a really good question. Let me go ahead and share with you guys. So have you guys like ever created like, say, a basic page? And I'll go ahead and give you an example. I'm going to move that. I'm going to remove that and remove that. Okay, so like, have you ever made like a basic page? You and your team made a basic page and you guys like have your URL and you're like, this URL is beautiful. I like how it's worded. It's perfect. But then you're looking at your basic page and you're like, this will look better on a landing page. Here's my landing page. Let's make it a landing page. So say your team, makes a landing page from scratch, but then you see the URL, you're like, ugh, why does it look like that? It has a 0. Can't we just use our old URL that we had on our basic page? You can, but you can use this old URL for stuff that is permanently deleted from the site. So if you want to reuse this URL and you don't want to have to use a URL redirect, but you want it to look like how beautiful this URL looks, and you don't want it to have like that 0 in it, but you want this to be using that beautiful URL, what you can do. And I can't remember who it was that I did this with, but it was really cool and we had fun. So what you can do, you can delete this page, and I'm going to delete it now. This is my basic page. I'm going to delete it. Yes. Because it's not being used anywhere, so we didn't get a warning sign. Okay, now that I deleted it, and agency managers are only ones who can permanently delete stuff off of the site. So if you're like a publisher and you're like, where's my delete button? You got to ask your agency manager. If you are a publisher and you have the delete button, then ignore what I just said. So after you delete that page, you go to your trash can. And just in case you forget everything that I said, I do have this also on the DX platform that breaks this all down. Anyways, you go to your trash can. And then you got to purge it. You got to permanently delete it from your whole entire site. So you click that little arrow right next to the restore button. And then you hit purge. And it's going to purge it. Meaning now it is permanently deleted from the site. That URL that was like previously being used, it's out in the open now. It's single. It's ready to mingle. So we're going to make it be married to this page. So look at this URL. Okay. You see how it has a 0? I'm now going to go to my landing page. I'm going to hit edit. I'm going to scroll down because this right here, the title right here, or the short title right there is what's going to be the URL. So I'm just going to hit save and hopefully this works correctly. You see, and it changed it. Now it's using this beautiful new URL. So people who make a basic page or a listing page and you're like, I want this to be a different content type, delete this content type and put this URL on this one and I want it to just stick there. That's how you can do it. If you don't want to use the URL redirects, you can do that. Like I mentioned, I do have, let me just copy this. I do have everything that I talked about right now. I have that information also listed within our URL redirects page, and just scroll down and it's like listed in the bottom part, how to reuse old URLs. So that was fun. I'll give you guys 3 seconds if you have any questions about that, because that was a lot of fun to do and I liked it. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Let me go to my second to last slide. Okay. So, like, we had some little hiccups when it came to the editing a landing page, and just so that you guys don't feel bad, I always end up forgetting on, like, because with the basic page, you just hit edit so that, you can edit everything on the page. So I tend to forget a lot that with the landing page, it has 2 parts. And the reason why it has 2 parts is, I don't know. But the second part, if you want to add like stuff down here, that's actually in the layout button. Oh, I got a message. That's actually in the layout button. Sorry, I got distracted. If you want to add stuff to a landing page, you go to the layout button. If you want to like change the name or the stuff like here or the picture here, that's your edit button. And if you forget, don't worry. Just click the edit button and you'll see, where's my micro content at? Where's the pretty layout stuff? You can just click layout and then it'll take you to the layout area. In the layout area, that's where you're going to add all of your pretty micro content. And to do that, you just you click the add section button, and the add sections are literally just like the colors that go on the page. So say you want the top part to be not like the hero image, that little pretty picture we had up top. That's not that one. That's underneath it. So say you want the underneath to be like a dark blue. You could just click that one or whatever color you've chosen. And now we're going to add that section by just clicking the add section button. Now we can add our blocks, our micro content. And if you click add block, it all appears right here. So let's go ahead and add one. And it's pulling from our micro content library. So I'm going to click my add promo. And I'm going to then pull from, give it a second. I can either make it from scratch here, or I can just pull from the library. And I'm just going to pull from the library so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Pull from the library. Do it. Okay, perfect. I'm going to use this one. And I'm going to hit select. And after I've selected it, I wanted to do the feature. Ooh, nice. I'm going to do the graphic promo image left one. And I'm going to insert that into my block. Now, after you have it inserted into your block, you have to scroll up and then save the layout. Even if you're like switching over to the edit one, you have to save before you go to that edit button if you want to change something else, because then it doesn't save anything that you did. So always click that save button. You want to save the layout. Like Seinfeld, he wants to hold the reservation. I love Seinfeld so much. Oh my God, I gotta watch that tonight. But anyway, so here is our landing page. Oh, look at it. It's looking nice. We added a promo. Nice. And we can add another section down here if we want it to be white to keep it separated. And we can also move micro content. But I won't worry about showing that right now. But you also see, like, when we add like a dark color here, you'll see the colors change up here. I don't know how that works. I don't understand it very well. I thought it was pretty cool. So just keep that in mind. If you like this part white, but you want it to be blue underneath, it's going to change this to be blue. So if you want that to like stay, if you want this to stay white, let me show you what you can do. You can actually go back to layout. And then you can scroll down and you can do change layout, which is where you can pick a different color. So let's go with white. And we're going to update it. Now it's, oh, look at that. It's nice and bright. Let's save the layout and let's see what the thing looks like now. Oh, look, it's looking light now. So just keep in mind, whenever you add sections, that top section, it does impact the colors of the edit section. I have yet to understand how. I will probably bother the dev team and be like, how's this working? What do I do? Can I give me another button so I can change that myself? But just wanted to let you guys know that. But okay, I'm done rambling. Just also that information on how to work with landing pages, I'm going to go ahead and just paste that in chat just in case you guys need that, because that's also on the DX platform. And then for my last slide, like I mentioned before, we do have our open office hours that you can come to on today at 1 p.m. They're every Thursday at 1 p.m. I just sit there quietly until someone comes in and is like, I have a fire and I need your help. That's just what it's there for, and I'm here to help. And we also have our accessibility training recordings that MSFW has been doing. You can register for the live one through this link. You can watch the old recordings through this link. You can join the MSFW office hours uh, through this link. And that one's perfect for those of you who are doing PDF remediation and you're working on the table tag and Adobe is being Adobe and not fixing it. That's there for you. So you can go to MSFW and they can help you, because they've helped me a lot, because oh my gosh, the tags. Also, we do have the weekly DX training classes. Again, it's just me repeating the same thing over and over. We do have the recordings available if you just don't feel like being perceived and you don't want to listen to a human. We do have the basic training recordings of all 3 courses also linked on the DX training site if you just want to give the new peoples that recording so they can create a link without breaking your site or making your accessibility score go down, because Montecito's like, that's an absolute link. And also we have a link to our past content manager meetings will appear within this link. So once this meeting is done, that will appear, and then once we get the recording, we can get that uploaded onto YouTube and then add the video into it as well. So that is there too. Okay, I'm going to turn it over to you, Todd. Here you go.
Awesome. Thank you. And I remembered now why she offered to let me go first, because I always feel like Eeyore after listening to you, Shireen. You are just so much energy. I don't know 3 people who have that much energy. You're awesome.
Thank you.
So go ahead and hit the slides. So accessibility update. So my project, as you guys probably remember, tired of hearing me say it, I'm here to help you remediate documents you have on your sites, as well as assess the applications. So in addition to your websites, you've got applications and documents out there. Let's make sure they're accessible as well. Go ahead and do the next slide. So DNR is still piloting level access. They have 3 applications on there. We're adding their test environment to the platform now, so they can we've discovered having it just on the production is sure a slow way to test things, because you have to go through the whole cycle of getting things promoted. So we're now adding the test areas and seeing how that goes. They do have a Chrome extension that lets us do. So if you have some web apps out there that you're impatiently waiting to get some assessment started, there is a Chrome extension that does not require a license. We can get you hooked up with some DNR people who are using that, and we can get that going. The signing process, I believe I can tell you today, the master agreement is signed. We are now working on the SOWs for the individual pieces, getting the wording down for that. Yes, it's very exciting. It's been so long in coming. I believe we're gonna start off with HHS first, because they've got a lot of forms ready to go, and they're a very interested agency. But if you have questions, concerns, if you don't have your inventories done, get a hold of me. Let's talk. Let's get these SOWs written, and let's get Alliance starting to remediate your existing documents. Any questions, concerns? And if you don't want to ask in the group, ping me after. So in addition to the documents, then we'll be doing assessments of the web apps. We'll be writing the SOWs and getting that going as well. So if you have questions, concerns on the apps, if you're more focused on the docs on your websites, if there's other people on your teams that need to hear this, please do not be shy. Get them in touch with me. Thank you. Next slide. All right, just in general, I guess I keep asking that. Questions, comments, concerns, anything? As you saw from Jessica's presentation, they're going to plug me in more with the content gardening, just as another way to be a resource to help you talk about and think about accessibility. Beyond the content, right? I'm also interested in working with you to help with procurement, with contracts. We need to make sure that everything we do is including accessibility. It's interesting to me that we are now kind of focused on this. It's a Title II kind of help push this out, but Title I's been around for a long time. We've always been, from practically as long as I've been around. We should have been working on accessibility for our employees. So this should not be a real new concept to us, but let's keep that out there. Next slide. I have a SharePoint site out there where I keep putting content. I have the inventories out there. After the last meeting, I think I had another 6 or 7 people request access. So if you go out to this URL, it's right there on the page, and you don't have access, there's a little button to click to ask to request access, and I will grant it very quickly. And any questions, comments, concerns, my email address, todd.peterson@domiowa.gov. Do not be shy. Reach out in Teams. I think my profile has my personal cell phone. I don't mind. Call me. If it's 10 o'clock at night and I don't want to talk to you, I won't answer it. But during business hours, I will answer that phone and be happy to answer any questions you've got. All right. That's all for me, unless you've got questions for me. Thank you.
Any other questions from the good of the group? Anything, any show and tells, anything that you reviewed in the slide deck? Anything that we need to recap from the beginning to the end? All right.
Okay, well,
go ahead.
I'd like to thank everybody for joining today. And if you come up with questions, please reach out to this team and we can get those questions answered. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Bye.